Hey, just had a thought for you this morning that I thought might be of an encouragement for you today. Um, as we face so many new challenges in our current reality, challenges facing family, challenges facing school, challenges facing work in our community, and challenges even facing the church. As a leader in the church, like this is doing church in a totally new way that I've never even experienced in my lifetime. So what do we do in the midst of those challenges and changes and the strangeness and the awkwardness? I thought about the church in Acts and how it was the early church and the challenges that it constantly faced. One being a new institution, but trying to spread the message of Jesus, the gospel, to nobody who had ever heard this before. And they faced many, many challenges. And I just got thinking about in Acts chapter 16 when Paul and Silas were arrested. And it simply says this. It says, about midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God in prison. And the prisoners were listening to them. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken, and immediately all the doors were opened, and everyone's bonds were unfastened. When the jailer woke and saw that the prison doors were open, he drew his sword and was about to kill himself, supposing that the prisoners had escaped. But Paul cried with a loud voice, "Do not harm yourself, for we're all here." And the jailer called for lights and rushed in, and trembling with fear, he fell down before Paul and Silas. Then he brought them out and said, "Sirs, what must I do to be saved?" And they said, "Believe in the Lord Jesus, and you'll be saved, you and your household." And they spoke the word of the Lord to him and to all who were in his house. And they took them the same hour of the night and washed their wounds, and he was baptized at once, he and his whole family. At midnight, Paul and Silas were praying, singing hymns to God. The middle of the night, in the middle of a jail cell. That's what I call isolation. That's what I call quarantine. That's what I call not knowing what's going to happen next. And many of us feel that way. So what if in the midst of our circumstances, no matter what they are, we would simply pray and praise? You just got thinking about that. Maybe that's what we should be doing right now. The things are slowed down in some ways, but they're still chaotic. That we have some time maybe as a family, as an individual, to pray and praise. What would that look like in your family? To sit down to pray aloud? What would it look like if you asked different people in their family to pray aloud? All right, now we're managing that. We've got a college-age son home and one of his friends who lives in Brazil who didn't have any place to stay this week. So we've got 2 young adults and 2 kids here in our house. And so there's chaos, but I've been amazed already in the few days that we've been experiencing this that hearts and attitudes have been good. But we've been praying together, and also, man, we've just been worshiping. We have literally had YouTube on at times, just playing worship songs as we're preparing dinner, as we're cleaning up. And it's interesting to see the different people walk through and just start singing the song that's on. Yesterday, as I was working on my message at our kitchen table, Lexi was working on her school work, and I had music playing. She would just start singing along. Just that we can pray and we can praise in any moment, in any circumstance. I think that should be our challenge, to find God individually and as families together. So what would it look like for your family to pray and to praise together? If you're looking for a couple new songs we found that we've been listening to on YouTube is a great new one called The Blessing, written by Cody Carnes and Kari Jobe and the Elevation Worship Team. Another one is Graves into Gardens. Man, you want an upbeat song to pick you up? It's a great song. And then another one just been speaking to my heart is a song called Communion with Stephanie Gretzinger and Brandon Lake. But those are just some things you could do. So what would it look like for your family to pray and praise during the situation? And here's the interesting thing, right? The rest of that story there in Acts is the way they lived through an incredible challenge was a witness to other people, right? The jailer became a follower of Jesus. He and his household, they were baptized. The way we walk through this current reality, the way we walk through this virus, the way we walk through the challenges we're facing right now, will often be a witness of the gospel to those around us. So what it looks like for you to pray and praise in any circumstance and be a witness to those who are watching. Hey, I hope you have a great day. Praying for you. Love you.